was a, very well-kept person. Once he moved in, basically I have an intruder in my home. This is where I become scared for my life. It opens up and a funky smell just comes through the door and it's just disgusting.
You are suing your ex-boyfriend?
Who sent pictures of his genitalia to other guys online?
Oh.
No, not at all.
Plaintiff Dominique Thurman says her new tenant unleashed a tornado of terror and destruction that left her fearing for her life. Defendant Terrell Jackson says he was simply living a quiet life and doesn't understand what the plaintiff is talking about. He says he owes her nothing.
Case 49 on the docket, you got Thurman versus Jackson.
Let's see what we have here. We have the plaintiff, Ms. Thurman, and you are suing the defendant, Mr. Jackson, in the amount of $4,000 for back rent, unpaid utilities, and property damage. Why don't you start out by telling me what your complaint is?
Sir, I'm suing Terrell today for $4,000. He was living in my home a little over 3 months. Within those 3 months, that was the worst time of my life. He left me with basically unpaid rent, the utility damages, and also I was at a fear for my life.
Is this your house?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you own the house? Or?
No, sir, I was renting the home as well.
You're renting the home, and you were subletting to him.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
Basically, I let a friend of a friend know that I was looking for a renter. Just wanted to subsidize my income to, be able to save a little bit more money. So she ended up introducing me to him here, and when she ever introduced me to him, he was a very well-kept person. He seemed to be very respected and things of that nature. I didn't see anything wrong with renting to this person.
Right.
I showed the place to him and we talked about it. I ended up going over the lease with him and I did make him aware that rent was $1,800 and we were to split the rent in half, $900 apiece. Also in my lease it said no pets. I let it be known, no pets.
May I see a copy of that, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I think this is the closest I've actually been to the lease. Actually, never saw it.
So we agreed to pay half of utilities, half of Wi-Fi, and also half of the rent. In doing so, he sent me $900 through Cash App. He had to do it in different increments for whatever reason. His bill was unable to do so. Here you are, Your Honor.
So he did pay $900, which would be half of the $1,800 rent here.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
That was the only amount of money that I received. Once I received that $900, I gave him keys to my home. And the home was basically an open home. Nothing was off limits between my bedroom, kitchen, living room. Everything was as is,
Okay.
So I gave him those and everything was good for the entire month of August. August was okay. Come September, it was time for him to, pay rent, pay the half of the utilities, everything that we agreed upon. Once September came, I started checking the bills to see, what utilities it was that he, just see how much he was gonna have to pay. We were gonna have to split.
Yeah.
So I screenshotted everything and I sent it to him, hey, here's the bills. And I just happened to look at my electricity bill. Normally my electricity bill is between $40 to $50. Once he moved in, it tripled. So, and I have proof here. So as well as the bills tripling, I did text him and I let him know, hey, the bill, normally my bill is under $50, so, I don't know what's going on. And he, quote, I said, gotcha, well, I'll tell you what, I'll handle the electric since it's me who's making it that high. I said, okay, cool, went on for so forth and so forth. And here's the water bill, the Xfinity bills as well.
Okay. With the water and the Xfinity and the utilities is a split.
That was the original plan.
That was the original plan, and the electric, he says he'll take care of.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And the final item then is, what is this about property damage? Continue with your story.
So we're getting into property damage. So as I said, September, I was expecting the first payment for that first week of September. I never received it. So the second week goes by, okay, it's getting to the point to where, okay, I'm starting to wonder where my money is. So I'm texting, I'm calling, my messages stopped sending as iMessages to start sending as text messages, which goes to show that he ended up changing his number on me or some form of nature.
Objection.
And
my phone broke. That's why I wasn't able to.
Okay.
And I explained the situation to you.
So around September 17th, I'm like, okay, hey, so, you know, what are you gonna do about rent? He stops responding to me on Facebook. I start going down, knocking on the door. I don't get an answer. At this point, this is where I become scared for my life, because I have an intruder in my home. You're not paying any bills. You're just living here for free, and that was not the original arrangement. So in the meantime, rent is accumulating. You know, I'm accumulating late fees and all the other things of that nature. I have the rent here, also showing the late fees as well, Your Honor.
Okay.
So the last 2 weeks of September, I believe it was, I was having conversations with my coworkers and different people. You know, look, this is what's going on in my home. I'm afraid, you know, I'm living out here by myself. I don't know what else to do. So my coworkers, they volunteered to come to my home with me to try to get him out of the house. You know, can you pack up? Can you be out like today? Because you're not paying rent. So we go by, we're knocking, we don't get an answer. And so I just like, okay, you know, I don't know what's going on at this point. It's almost October. I'm basically letting someone live for free. So I go and I take the doorknob off the door. So I'm trying to get in there to see what's going on. You know, what's behind this door that you leave locked when you're not even here, you know?
Yeah.
So I open up the door, I take the doorknob off, and I was trying to push the door open and I couldn't open it. It was something blocking it behind the door. So I pushed like, you know, a little bit of the top and it opens up and a funky smell just comes through the door and it's just disgusting. What the hell happened in here? You know, what's going on? And I peek in the door and it was literally feces everywhere on the floor. There was an air mattress with no air in it. There was no furniture in the room. There was like female linen stuff all over the place. It was gross. It was molded clothes,
Not to my
molded
knowledge,
food.
by the way.
It was
I will say
everything in there was disgusting. And all of a sudden I hear rustling outside of my window, like leaves rustling. And I look out and I see him carrying all his stuff out, like out the back, like he finna just dip. So first thing I think of, I'm finna go downstairs, and first thing I grab.
The agreement was for me to leave that day, though. Do you remember that?
How was I knowing that you were gonna leave? You didn't have no way to respond to me.
You texted me on Facebook and said you wanted me out by this date.
Did you respond? As I was saying, when I went downstairs, I'm like, okay, you know, I'm thinking this person living in my house, not paying rent, not paying none of his utility bills. So the first thing I think I have to grab something to defend myself. I grabbed my toilet plunger out my bathroom, sir, just like this. Coming downstairs just like this. Cause he think that's a game, like this my life. You know, I'm living here by myself. I have you here.
I didn't sign a lease. I didn't sign any agreement. The only thing that I will say, you know, I'm liable for is what I texted her in regards to the electric bill. We did it, I mean.
So you think you're supposed to stay somewhere for free? Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all.
You just said electric. You didn't say nothing about rent, the damages, nothing else.
Let me finish. So, moving into the next month, moving into September, I did pay her for that first month. Moving into September, I'm not going to get too into the weeds, but basically I was going up job-wise. I was supposed to be promoted into another job. Now what happened was I lost that side, I lost that job, and then I also lost the original job because they wouldn't accept me back after I put in my 2 weeks.
Here's where we are. Everyone's got their personal story. I get it. So, what are the damages for that apartment? But I can tell you ahead of time, the rent is going to be paid, and half the utilities are going to be
Can I
paid.
explain the damages?
So I changed the doorknob, I changed the locks, and I go in the room and I'm doing a full 360, and I turn the door around and I see this. And it looks like to me Cujo was downstairs. Like somebody bit off the damn door. Like, what is this? And to me, what it looks like was you had a pet when I said at the beginning not to have pets. And
Was there a dog in the place?
Let me ask you a question. So to be fair, it was not my dog, but there was a dog there. And secondly,
but she said you're not allowed to have a dog there.
we did discuss
dog
having a
was
dog.
it?
We did discuss me having one of my pets over. We did in the beginning. Now,
And what did you say? Did you?
when was this?
this was in the beginning.
He lying.
I
lying, Your
introduced
Honor.
them.
So you're
He's
only
lying.
speaking directly to
All
He's
right.
lying, Your Honor.
Okay.
I apologize.
Not
He's
only
lying.
that, but I did, so the damages that were done. So the reason why it looked like that was because I did ask her for permission to have one of my friends stay there for a bit.
And what did I say?
He'd been evicted. She
What did
wasn't
she say?
comfortable with it. She did say no.
Know what? I'm not comfortable with that.
Ma'am, you're
I
only
Okay.
speaking to the judge.
Okay, so she said no. So therefore, we can't have the.
But here's my thing. What I did was I did clean the area. I cleaned the area to the point where you weren't really able to tell much that had happened.
Where the picture?
Yeah, except and
What's that, though? What is that?
She's taking one picture of the room.
Well-
The rest of it The rest of it was
Assuming
clean. There
it's
was no
not-
feces in the place. There was nothing.
Okay. Assuming this is not fake news, what is this picture?
Right.
So the damages for the room was about $1,500 and about $700 for the utility damages. I also have here.
What do you mean utility damages?
I'm sorry, not utility damages, just utilities, and then also the room damages. So he damaged the door, the wall, and also the carpet. I had to have the door as well as the frame replaced. I had to have the wall replastered, and I had to have the bedroom where he was like harvesting Cujo down there. I had to have the carpet pulled up.
Okay. Her lawsuit,
Right.
which I find very compelling, that she or any person in that situation is entitled to believe that rent will be paid, that half of the utilities will be paid, that damages which she certainly didn't cause. And as a consequence, I fine for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,827.30.
I'm not a bad person, and that's kind of what I wanted to come through. I didn't leave her in that situation on purpose.
I would have liked to get the full amount, but just even a little bit is fine because I had to come out of my pocket for this.
Plaintiff Gregory Ewan loved his ex-boyfriend with all his heart. But when his ex destroyed his car and his iPad in fits of jealous rage, he knew it was time to say goodbye. Defendant Millard says the plaintiff is a liar and a cheater who would send erotic selfies to other men.
Case number 142 on the docket, Ewan versus Millard.
Okay, and welcome to both of you. The plaintiff, Mr. Ewan, you are suing your ex-boyfriend, Mr. Millard, for $4,571 for damage to your iPad, sunroof, and windshield on your car,
Correct.
car payments, and money spent.
Correct.
Sounds to me this is a relationship that went south.
Absolutely.
What happened? How did you two guys meet?
In a meeting app. Yeah.
And so you guys met, were attracted.
Yes.
And
Well,
then
I told him he should go out for dinner at least once because he just moved into the area. And
So you two went out to dinner.
yes, at
And-
Cheesecake Factory.
Very nice.
And I kept putting him off.
Why, you don't like the Cheesecake Factory?
No, I was, no, I was super busy. I was in the middle of selling my house.
Yeah.
Now
Yes.
what happened?
He moved in 3 days later.
Wow.
And he had
Must
just...
have been some meal.
Yeah, well,
Well, he asked me to stay, and I was like, I have an apartment. I just got an apartment.
And so you moved in. It's okay, it's not a crime. That's good, okay? Good, so you two are together. Now, let's go through what you're suing the defendant for. First, you are suing him for damages to your iPad Pro.
oh, well, here it is, Your Honor. This is the iPad Pro, $1,300. And
Very
I
nice.
didn't realize it was dented until...
How did that happen?
Well, he said that I was looking at somebody else's photos
Where were you guys at the time?
in the bed.
We're in
Okay, so
bed.
you guys were in bed one evening.
He pulled it out of my hands and threw it under his hip.
He set it down in the middle.
Why would,
No, it
did
was
you?
not in the
Why
middle.
did
It
you
was under
pull
your
it?
left hip.
No, but you set it down in the middle, and I grabbed it, and I put it over behind me, and he rolled over on top of me, trying to get to it.
I don't need to know your position.
When he got on top of me, like the weight of two of us together, it just,
It crushed the.
yes.
Look, it's bent. It's very obvious.
Why did you grab it from him?
He would
No.
send pictures of his genitalia to other guys online.
No, not at all. I have the forensic details of
I
this
am
iPad.
not going to look at the forensic details. And
Yeah.
you're saying that's his fault, so you're suing him for damage.
breaking it.
For breaking it because you rolled on top of him and it bent.
Allegedly.
But why is
But
he
also-
responsible
But he already confessed it.
that he ripped it away from you? But that isn't what broke it. You rolled on top of him.
No, Your Honor. there-
Okay, you
Okay.
two are adults. You two had a relationship, a sexual relationship, a romantic relationship. Two people are in bed together.
I felt he was cheating on me. And he was sending pictures to other guys.
You got to be careful who you go to bed with then. That part of the suit, I'm going to dismiss.
And I
It's
tried to
just
get him straight
unfortunate.
in.
When you're in a relationship and you're in bed with someone and the iPad breaks, that's not a lawsuit. You got to decide who you want to be in bed with. So what else are you suing him for? The windshield. What about this windshield?
I was accused again of cheating. I grabbed my keys because he was in one of his incidents, and I grabbed the keys like this, and I walked out of the door.
And I followed him. I followed him.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the confession. There's actually a statement in the previous court case.
Because I wanted to finish the conversation. I accused him of cheating because of behaviors of him sending pics to other guys online, showing his PA, and...
What, a production assistant?
No, a piercing.
He crawled on top of my windshield and pushed it down.
I thought he was gonna go be with somebody else.
And so you jumped on. Let's hear
That
from
wasn't
you.
my intent.
But you jumped on
But
the
I
car.
wanted to talk to him. Next thing I'm on the roof, and I'm just, and I'm saying to myself, I'm on the roof. What the?
Yeah. Well, this is good. So you're aware of where you are.
I'm just like.
And then the roof bent? How did the windshield break?
I leapt onto the car. But he was also physically abusive towards me.
Okay. And what is this video? Do we have a video?
Oh, goodness. He actually testified to the police under perjury that I pushed him out of the door.
That you
I
pushed
didn't-
him. Let's look at the video.
Oh my God! What happened? What happened? I rolled my ankle. You broke your ankle? I rolled it. What happened? Oh my God! What happened? Oh my God! What happened?
It's not
This
all
isn't
us,
funny.
Your
The
Honor.
only thing I see that has any merit here is you suing him for the damage to the windshield. It's all the evidence I have.
He tries
You're
to make me
suing him
look
for
crazy.
damage to a
This one,
door,
too.
but there's no evidence that he did it. You do admit that you jumped on his car
Yes,
and it damaged the windshield.
it did damage the windshield.
So therefore, you're responsible for that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but the lawsuit here is only him suing you. And it's him suing you for damages to that windshield.
May I
That's the
present
only
this?
thing other than, and that's the only thing before me that we have proof of. You're even confessing to it, and for good reason. So I find for the plaintiff in the sum of $2,471.